What is up, everyone? Good afternoon. Welcome to a special edition of the Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Thank you guys so much for joining. Today is the day of the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman. Thank you for those of you who have seen my community posts. I really appreciate that. And who have responded, I appreciate that also. Now, in honor, as a custom, on this channel, we do top 10 reviews on great wrestlers to celebrate their birthdays, and Braun Strowman will not be an exception today. So let's get to it with my top 10 favorite Braun Strowman matches. And we will start off at number 10, his match where he would win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 35. We saw him have a face to face reunion with Luke Harper, God rest his soul, and we would also see him win this match after eliminating the Hardy Boys and two celebrities who I have no idea who the helicopter these guys are. All I know is they got knocked the freak out and they got eliminated, and they need Dr. Hall and Dr. Nash to save them and give them help after Braun Strowman gave him those hands. Now, speaking of which, I got a question for you guys. Braun Strowman versus Andre the Giant. Who would have won that match? Let me know your answer in the comment below. Now to number 9, we have Braun Strowman in the Elimination Chamber match of 2018. Why is that on this match? Because Braun Strowman, like Shayna Baszler, except Shayna won, did something crazy. It was 7 men because Seth, Finn, and Miz started off. Then you had an invisible guy that the Miz could not see, and Elias, as well as Braun Strowman and the eventual winner, Roman Reigns. Now, what makes this special and why it's on this list is because Braun Strowman eliminated everyone. He eliminated Seth, Finn, Miz, Elias, and the invisible man that the Miz couldn't see, John Cena. However, he would eventually become subject to the man who would eventually win this match, the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns. At least this was back when Roman could win a freaking match on his goddamn own. That's all I'm saying. Jesus Christ and whatever. This is a match Roman won on his own. Well, after Braun Strowman did all the work. Roman is accustomed, if you haven't figured it out yet, no disrespect to the guy because he's one of the greatest champions he is the greatest champion of this generation, and Seth Rollins will be the next. However, win on your own. Win on your own, not after somebody does all the work. Jesus and the succubus. Next on this list at number 8, we have Braun Strowman versus Goldberg at WrestleMania 36 for the Universal title, WrestleMania Saturday. Speaking of Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman was a replacement as Roman Reigns' opponent. It was set to be Roman versus Goldberg, but times changed and things happened, and Braun Strowman took over. And it was a good 5-minute match, very epic. They brought their finishers real quick, but it took, and Braun Strowman survived more than 2 spears, and it took more than 2 spears to put Goldberg down for the win. And Strowman would win his first SmackDown Universal Championship. Number 8, we have Braun Strowman versus The Big Show on an episode of Monday Night Raw, April the 17th of 2017. This match was a good match, but it was the ending that was crazy because in the end, we would see Braun Strowman become the 3rd person to superplex The Big Show from the top rope and cause the ring to explode. The difference between Braun Strowman and the other two guys who did it, being Brock Lesnar and Mark Henry, was that after the superplex happened, which both times caused the ring to implode, Braun Strowman stood up and proclaimed himself victorious in his own right as the last one standing in that match. No one has ever gotten up from an implosion, from a ring implosion, but Braun Strowman was the first to do it. Next, at number 6, we have Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage match, WrestleMania Saturday, WrestleMania 37. This match was built on a bullying angle, and this match would be perfect. And Braun Strowman, let me just say, would make a perfect spokesperson for the anti-bullying Be a Star campaign that WWE used to have. I don't know if they do it anymore, but if they do, Braun Strowman is the perfect advocate. Don't be a bully, be a star, or get these hands. That's all that needs to be said. And that's what this match was all about. Because after Shane McMahon was thrown off the top of the cage down to the ground and then power slammed, Braun Strowman won the match. And I bet you Shane will never ever call Braun stupid again. Especially since after that, we didn't see Shane McMahon again until the Royal Rumble 2022. Then we didn't see him again till WrestleMania of this year. When are we gonna see Shane again? Don't know. Next on this list we have Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar at No Mercy 2017 for the Universal Heavyweight Championship. Now, a month prior to this, we saw Braun Strowman make a heck of a highlight at SummerSlam, putting Brock Lesnar through 2 announce tables and then dumping the third one on him. At least the Spanish announce team can feel a bit better without knowing, why is it always us? But in any event, this match was great on Braun Strowman's part. Braun Strowman almost went to Suplex City the first time, but immediately came back with a choke slam and a powerbomb. That wasn't enough. Braun Strowman dominated the match, and Brock Lesnar could not get Braun Strowman up for the F5. But after a while, Brock Lesnar gained momentum and took Braun Strowman to Suplex City, and all it took was one F5. It's funny because the Beast Incarnate overcame a couple of power slams and, like I mentioned, a choke slam. But eventually, Brock Lesnar came back and defended his Universal Championship to its success. Now at number 4, another losing effort, but this time it's Braun Strowman versus the late, great Bray Wyatt, aka The Fiend, at SummerSlam 2020. I could not, let me just say, I could not talk about Braun Strowman without mentioning Bray Wyatt. It would be the ultimate sin. Besides adultery and murder, pride, and whatever the other commandments are, this would be the worst sin to commit, to not put Bray Wyatt on this list. They had an incredible match, cinematic match at Extreme Rules Horror Show, being the swamp match, but this one was another match. And this one was also good. We saw The Fiend and Braun Strowman go at it, and they fought in the arena, and they fought backstage. However, unfortunately for Braun, Bray Wyatt's sister Abigail, on an exposed part of the wing, would win the match and would win the Universal Heavyweight Championship. Braun Strowman would lose the match that night and would lose the championship. However, I had to put a great match involving Bray Wyatt on this list. It would not be right if I didn't. Next on this list, we have Braun Strowman versus the man who made his return after that match at SummerSlam, and that is Roman Reigns. After the match in 2020, Roman Reigns made his return, and 1 week later would become the Universal Champion, which he still is now. But before, Roman Reigns was depending on people to win his matches for him. No disrespect to Mr. WWE Empire. I know you're a huge Roman fan. I like Roman too. I just want to see him win on his own. That's all I'm asking. But long before Roman Reigns was asking for help, he was the big dog. And the big dog faced off against Braun Strowman in an ambulance match at Great Balls of Fire. This was a great match, in my personal opinion. And the ending was very close to call because in this match, Roman's own momentum would set him up for failure and he would get trapped in the ambulance and Braun Strowman would win. Now, Roman Reigns was not going to take this line down because he came out of the ambulance after losing. Braun Strowman won, but after losing, Roman would come out, throw Braun into the ambulance, and ram the back of the ambulance like this is the Attitude Era into a tractor box. And Braun Strowman still got out of the ambulance and walked out on his own. Let's just get that straight. Despite Kurt Angle's meme-like expression, Braun Strowman got out of the ambulance and walked out on his own, despite the tribal chief being a bit of a sore loser, even though he was a babyface that time, technically. But I don't even want to see what happens when Roman loses, if he ever loses. But in any event, Braun Strowman won that match and walked out on his own. Number 2, we have Braun Strowman versus the almighty Bobby Lashley in an Extreme Rules Last Man Standing match from the Extreme Rules pay-per-view of 2019. This was coming about because they had a match on Raw where they tackled each other and went through the Raw stage, having Corey Graves say "Holy Smackdown." This was a rematch for that, and this was awesome. This is one of those matches that I call Peter versus the Chicken match because they fought all over the arena, but they fought in the ring, they fought in the concession stand, and they eventually won the match when Braun Strowman power slammed Bobby Lashley off of one of the balcony rails for the win. At number 1, we have Braun Strowman versus everyone at Money in the Bank 2018. This was a match where we saw Braun Strowman win after overcoming people trying to bury him with ladders. Then one of the highlights of this match is that he would climb the ladder, grab Kevin Owens, who was getting on his nerves a lot lately, and threw him off the ladder down to a table. Then he came back and ran through a ladder. The ladder broke in half, and it didn't hurt Braun Strowman one darn bit. Took everybody down and eventually became the Money in the Bank winner. Now, even though he never cashed it in successfully because of a reunited Shield, the fact is his performance at Money in the Bank and the fact that he won it makes it the top on this list. So let me know in the comment section below what was your favorite match from Braun Strowman. And don't forget to check out my community posts. Like, comment, and subscribe, and share so that we can grow this. And remember, I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to like
or get these hands.
Just kidding. See you later, folks.